at Quinceañeras now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's on Logan over by...
I don't know if it's still the union, though, because there is a musicians' union still active. I just don't know if that really is still a part of it.
Yeah.
Petrello.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, I watched part of the video. The sound's not great, but you can still tell it's Allison James.
That's cool.
Yeah. As young people.
Remember the band Juvenile in Seattle back in the day?
Oh, it sounds cool.
Metal.
Huh.
No, I don't remember. I do remember Juvenile, the singer.
No.
He was more of a
This
R&B.
is, late 80s, high school kids in the Seattle area had a heavy metal band. They wanted to be Metallica.
Right on.
Thing, but
So not hair metal like metal.
Thrash metal, yeah.
I remember seeing them somewhere on Rainier. I think it was the Spider Club, but it was like Columbia
man.
City back then.
Huh.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I thought it would be a band you might recognize from...
Even now. Did they spell it
I don't
with
remember.
any flair?
I don't remember.
Probably.
Juvie. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How nice to show up and have music played. I think I'm going to carry a boombox and just play this every time I enter a room.
I think that's a great idea.
They actually make retro-looking boomboxes that are Bluetooth enabled too.
Nice. Like 50 D-cell batteries.
Actually, I would imagine they probably
power,
have
Lower Ecuador.
rechargeable lithium-ion batteries now. But
Yeah, probably so.
kind of like a cell phone battery or whatever.
Yeah. Well, Todd, you let us know, and we'll get this here party started.
Okay, sure, I'll let you know.
Welcome, everybody around the world to Our Town Podcast.
Extraordinary.
Coming to you from the beautiful and historic Renton Civic Theater
Up here,
in
projector
downtown Renton, Washington.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day today.
Yeah, it was
still
really nice
Summer's
today.
holding on.
Yeah.
Summer's holding on.
Not releasing that grip. This is episode 39, guys.
And it's the Jack Benny episode.
Yes,
Gee,
that's
that's
pretty
great.
cool, huh? And
Yeah, geez, good job, fellas.
just for tonight, as per Todd came up with our top 5 for our bonus round, and for that, the safe word tonight, if anybody's feeling a little,
Endangered.
troubled or endangered, is sequel. Sequel. Just yell that out. We'll stop this here program. And you folks listening at home and around the world, go ahead and text us or email us, and we'll go back in time and
Yeah.
stop this here program.
ourtownpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
Would
we
you
will bend space time for you.
do
Well, nothing's too much
just
for our.
do
our
prequels
listener.
do prequels count as well?
I would. Yeah, I don't care. That sounds good.
Yeah.
prequels. Because these
I have-
are the
I have-
worst,
I have-
right? These are the worst sequels.
Yeah.
Movies that followed another movie is basically what we're talking about, whether it be
Yeah.
a prequel or a sequel or
Oh,
whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But we're still riding the
I have a couple prequels on my list.
Yeah, nice. And what is Todd talking about? Todd is talking about our members only section
Yes.
where we do a bunch of top 5s after the show. It's kind of our bonus round.
Yeah.
And you can get that content your very self by going to our website and signing up in the members only. It's only $3 a month or $30 a year. Holy
Scale that
moly.
ball. Scale that ball. Scale that thing.
And I hate to tell you that all the golden toilet seats, the Our Town golden toilet seats, are all sold out.
Oh,
but if
geez.
you want to send us $99.99, we can find one. We'll go out,
absolutely.
secondary marking, get you one.
Golden.
Tell them about our merchandise too, man. We got merch.
We got merch. I got a T-shirt on. This fabulous Our Town
that is a good
T-shirt. We've got stickers.
Stickers.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of stickers. We've
numerous
got
kinds,
the
yeah.
Yerp to the Derp, and we've got our regular Our Town podcast stickers that go anywhere with you. Just stick it on something and take it with you.
Yeah.
Water bottles, laptops, car windows.
Ourtown.store is
Cats.
the website.
Go check it out. We got plenty of stuff there. So, anyway, back to the podcast, boys.
Meanwhile, back at the podcast.
Man, we've got lots of crazy stuff happening. One that we were talking about when we started up the show. Seattle's kind of got a couple of messy political things going on right now.
Yeah.
The
I
first
saw
one
that today.
was just horrible. If you listen to the audio, and I hear the defense of it is out of context, but I don't know how you could take the context any which way.
No, because it's in real time right then, right?
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah,
Because it's
and-
audio and video, so you can see what actions are happening as this conversation's going on.
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah. And what are we talking about? A Seattle police officer was traveling at a high rate of speed, supposedly, allegedly, in response to somebody that had fainted or passed out, drug overdose or something, and he was cruising through downtown Seattle and hit a young lady walking across a crosswalk. And witnesses say there was no lights or sirens on.
And 74 miles an hour.
74 miles an hour.
In downtown, which is like what, 30 miles an hour, 35?
If that,
And
man.
probably
25
25.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, and
Which is awful, right?
It's just
I mean, that's
horrible.
awful.
Could happen to
23-year-old
anybody.
college student working on her master's. Doing the whole.
Pretty young lady,
Just doing a
Living
got
life, right?
50 years of productive life ahead of her.
yes,
Right.
at least, yeah.
Yep.
And I don't really understand. I think it was another cop that was talking about what had happened and was
the person
recorded
that
on
was
his.
recorded, yes.
Well, what happened was he was on a call, wasn't he? He was on a call.
No, he's the response officer when officer needs to be cleared of being intoxicated. So he was there to make sure that officer who had hit the pedestrian was sober.
He wasn't the.
And he's the vice president of the
Police union or something.
Yeah, the officer.
Is he an officer, like a
I
lieutenant
think he is
or a
also
sergeant or
yes,
something like
he's
that?
all of the
Okay.
above, correct?
So the guy in the video is not the one who actually ran over.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
But
'Cause
he
I've
was
seen-
responding to it.
Yeah, it just seems like so he's wearing a number of hats in this incident, right? A, he's a police. A, he's a human being.
Yeah.
Right. B, he's a Seattle police officer.
Yeah.
C, he's a union vice president, right? So he represents the person he's going to investigate
Yeah.
for intoxication.
How does the guy that investigates other officers represent them in the union?
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that seems really.
And why isn't that like a citizens board that would do
I don't
that
know. Or just what's the internal affairs?
internal
whatever
affairs,
that
or
is.
even a
Yeah,
King
yeah, yeah.
County
Just
sheriff or something
right?
that's sort of,
yeah.
you know.
They would.
Yeah.
Right? If a police officer got pulled over under, and was gonna have to get a breathalyzer, they'd send in somebody else.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
There's no doubt that's.
I mean, they probably all know each other anyway, or at least have.
So how is that? And he was in an officer's vehicle.
Oh,
He had a
okay.
camera on, right? It's like.
Yeah.
So it's not like this guy was on the job.
Yeah.
So hey, it's not out of context.
So this guy was on the phone. His body camera was recording what he was saying, and we only, I believe, hear his side of the conversation, right?
Yes, because the other side was not recorded.
Right.
Right.
And he's talking about how this woman got hit, and she's only 26, and her life wasn't, super valuable.
low
so
value.
You guys
write
want
a
to
check.
hear the audio? I have.
Yeah, I don't know that we have
Yeah.
any issues, no legal issues with the audio.
I don't
right?
know, but I know
It's
of none.
posted online, so I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
see if I can get to the. I don't know if I got the whole thing here, but
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Yeah, it's just absolutely nuts. And this made national news.
23-year-old John V. Kandula was struck and killed by another officer's squad car while that officer was responding to a call. Kandula was in the crosswalk when she was hit by the patrol car that was going 63 miles per hour in a
heard
25
I
mile
heard
per hour
74
zone.
too.
Does not seem like there's a criminal investigation going on.
In a different portion of the call, the officer appears to be talking about paying off the victim's family, such as a monetary settlement if the family were to sue the department.
No, it's a regular person. Yeah, just write a check. Just yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
Yeah, that was Seattle police officer Daniel Otterer joking and
yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole video. Yeah, you
I
can.
mean, that's bonkers. That's
It's just
bonkers.
nuts.
And we don't know what the other guy's saying, who I think is the president of the.
Yeah,
Seattle
I think the
office.
excuse has come up
Yeah.
that he was talking about lawyers and laughing about lawyers, but nothing there. He says specifically she had limited value,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, and it doesn't matter if he's being facetious or whatever. It's like, dude, it's moments ago.
It's professional,
Right?
And
It's like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And what type of person do we want making decisions on justice?
Right.
And
And,
you can-
decisions on life or death situations? It's like that guy's judgment is jack shit.
You can
Read the
he-
fucking room, bro.
You can
know?
you can hear the guy when he realizes his body cam is on. Shit, and you can hear.
And then he kind of fibbed, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, somebody call me out. Is that he claimed that he turned it in because it's like he didn't know that it was on, and he thought it would seem weird if he didn't turn it in. But that wasn't true at all. Somebody else was like going through the footage and flagged it and turned it in. Right? So he even lied about trying to make himself
Yeah.
into the good guy for being upfront and open about it when he wasn't upfront and open about it.
How long ago was the accident?
I
if you
don't
will?
know the answer to that.
Okay. I don't remember either, but I mean, this is disgusting.
Yeah, and he's not worthy of the job.
No.
Right?
No. Neither one are. And I don't know what the excuse for the guy that actually
Yeah, I don't know.
drove, the officer that actually drove the car.
And they had the day before this story broke, right, had just gotten off the federal, judge imposed, the federal, spanking that they've been under
Yeah.
for 11 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The restrictions and all the things that they had to
Yeah.
do, but this wasn't viewed as a break on their improvements on those things, right? But,
Right.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
Come on. Come on.
I'm all for gallows humor in my circle of friends and shit talking and stuff, but I mean this like something that just happened to
Well, and he's on the job.
and he's on the
Yeah.
job.
Right, that's not the appropriate place even for gallows humor.
No, that's
It's
what I'm
not,
saying.
He's on
Yeah,
the job.
yeah.
He's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the job.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
you know,
you know what I mean? It's like, no, that's not the same
And
thing.
when you're a public servant like that, that kind of stuff will come out, and it's not like it's going to get buried ever. And that's something that will
I
get
don't
put on the internet, and everyone
Yeah.
will see it and then have an opinion on it. So
yeah, it's just it's sad.
Yeah.
Blessings to her family. Feel bad that this young woman's life was cut short like that.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
nonsensical. I mean,
I
it's
don't know.
beyond.
And I don't know, because we
Yeah.
need to decide what we want to police and how we want to police it.
Right.
And have our own standards in
Yeah.
society that we would then impose upon the law keepers or whatever the fuck, I don't know.
So do you
It's
think that
bonkers.
guy should be fired or just demoted?
No, he should be fired.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah. I have no issue with him being
No.
fired. That's
Yeah, no,
that's
he's
just
fired.
not the kind of person. I don't know what kind of
And-
education you can send him to. What kind of classes,
'cause
stuff
it
like
doesn't-
that. There's no
It
sensitivity
doesn't matter.
training.
And now the damage is already done.
right,
Right?
Yeah.
The damage is already done. It's
There's not like he
because
can-
he made the department look bad. Just like if you're in the army and something goes fucking sideways or something, it's like you make the whole thing look bad, so you get fucking busted. Right?
Yeah.
Except then it's a crime, right? Because
Do
you're
you,
gonna.
do you think maybe he'll go on like local like talk shows and whatnot and
Right
like,
wing stuff, probably. Somebody will ask him
be
to.
like, hey,
my speech is under attack or whatever. It's like, but you're also on the job.
Right.
You're on the job, dude. It's
Yeah.
like, you don't get to just say and do whatever you want when you're on the job.
right?
I always say being a cop is probably the hardest job out there, and it's one that I would never want to do.
I don't know.
But
I'm not gonna-
if you're going to do it,
Yeah.
you got to maintain that super, super high level of
That's the deal, because
integrity
you-
and
yeah, because-
professionalism.
yeah,
And I mean, it's just,
Because you have lethal force as an option, right?
Yes.
So we need to have a
and you
higher
can
level
totally
of
fuck
trust,
with people's civil
right?
rights at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, the lethal force, obviously. But yeah, I mean, you can mess with people.
Yeah, oh yeah. And yeah, I know. I know. It's interesting that humans have, but we need some type of, enforcement if we're going to have laws, you know what I mean? But what's that going to look like? What do we expect and want from the people who are going to take on that role? Because it's not until we're a more mature species, right? We're going to need the carrot and the stick, bro.
Yeah.
You need the stick. I hate to say it, man, but show me an example where you don't need the stick, right? Because humans will just wig out once in a while. And those who do, right?
Yeah.
And without any kind of like systems in place for some type of fucking, equality before justice, then you get warlords, right?
Yeah.
And it's worse.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
Awful. I don't know. And it really hurts, I think, the public's feelings if somebody doesn't get thrown to the dogs for this.
Right. Yeah. Well, speaking of getting thrown to the dogs in Seattle, the former Seattle mayor, Jenny Durkin,
and police chief,
shared a series of text mails, we believe, right, during the CHOP, which was the Capitol Hill occupation. What's it stand for? Anyway, when the protesters took over, like Cal Anderson Park in Capitol Hill, and somebody actually died up there.
They didn't do it very well.
They didn't do well. And the police sort of backed off, and there was a whole bunch of text mails.
They left the precinct, remember?
They left the precinct.
Yeah, just kind of left it. And ever since, they just haven't been the same.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, but it was, I don't know. It's like the people who took the park, maybe some were really doing it correctly, right? Because there's plenty of like non-typical lifestyles that are, capable of fucking doing it, right?
Right.
But then, a lot of people weren't. And that's I don't know.
Yeah. But with that, during that time, the mayor and the police chief and maybe even some other city officials were sharing text mails that they readily deleted, right? So that investigators trying to figure out, what was happening during this kid's death. I think he was 20-something years old.
Yeah, and that somebody said that they weren't allowed there, and that was a lie, and all this other stuff.
Right.
Like a bunch of weird lies and weird shit came out.
Weird shit. She did not run for re-election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they deleted the text, and nobody's going to be held accountable for deleting the text, which just sucks. Just
it's
sucks.
silly. Yeah, nothing. No fine, no fucking nothing, right?
Nothing.
Maybe somebody could sue civilly or whatever because she destroyed public property, right? And stuff like that. But it's still a fucking dick move, and it obviously stinks.
Are you talking about emails or text messages?
They were text messages.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was on their own phones because two other defendants, I guess, even though they weren't charged, but two other people said that they forgot their password so that they couldn't retrieve them. And then they couldn't break into their phone because they didn't have the password or whatever to lock it up.
Right.
Which I don't really believe anyway. Right? There's no way like a federal so you can get somebody to break into a fucking phone. Right? There's no way that's beyond.
Oh, I'm sure you can go to T-Mobile or Verizon.
It depends on the type of phone.
But maybe if there's no criminal charges, you can't do it. I don't know. But it stinks. That stinks really bad.
As someone who's worked for mobile companies, it depends on the phone. A lot of the newer phones, if you guess the wrong password too many times, it locks it.
But there's no police backdoor. There's no backdoor for investigators.
No,
none.
Not that I'm aware of.
Isn't that stuff saved on a server at Verizon or T-Mobile?
No, it's on the phone.
Just on the phone.
It's just on that phone. Yeah.
That's the difference between an email and a text message. Then, yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about like text messages and emails, their emails go out on a server.
Yeah.
Text messages, I don't know how they work as far as like sending and receiving. I think it goes, point to point. I don't think there's like a central location where they.
Hey, Anonymous, send us. Send us.
Send us Jenny.
Don't invoke Anonymous for us.
We will. We will play act the text. Mike will be the mayor.
Right on. I'll be Jenny. She's slightly more masculine than I am.
Probably. Yeah.
She's got a strong jaw.
Yeah.
Jenny Durgan. I don't know. She was a federal prosecutor. Remember, I was not pro Durgan even back in the day. So it's not like I'm jumping on an anti-Durgan. I don't know. I've been pro.
I don't really know her well enough to have an opinion.
Charlie Royer, back in the 70s and 80s.
Oh man,
we used to hold campaign events for him.
Oh shucks.
Yeah. My parents knew him well. I don't remember Gene who?
Lux.
No.
Oh, he was a South End representative. Sweet guy.
Met Greg Nichols a couple times, but yeah, I mean, whatever party you're affiliated with or not affiliated with, if you do some shady shit as a public official, especially an elected public official, we the people deserve to know.
What you've been doing. Sunlight.
So I don't care what party.
All the time.
I don't care.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah,
because you get to go down in history. You want to know the perk to your job? People? You go down in history. Right? There's only a few. Well, sure, but I mean, you're going to be a mayor, so you're written up somewhere. The whole point of civilization, really, is to keep records.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, and that's my argument with the Supreme Court justices being corrupt and shit. It's like, guys, Stop.
Yeah.
That is the perk. It's not money and riches like you're a drug dealer, right? It's that type of forever. You're known forever in the annals of American history.
That's true.
Forever. Yeah. Oh, that's the perk. It's like a statue, dude. God, corrupt pieces.
I don't know. I can't think of any like congressperson. I can't name any of them by name except for the ones who've been complete and total dickballs on TV.
Tell me what state, and I'll tell you.
Dickballs.
I'm
better at senators, but you want a quiz?
No, I'm just saying that you're saying that they're going to stand up in history. It's like, who fucking remembers those
because
people?
somebody writes
it's written down. Yeah, I can look up the 105th Congress of the United States and
see
tell
who
you.
voted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't realize. I was thinking there's fans out there. These guys are like people.
Some
Like,
of them do,
It goes into our
collect
collective
trading
history.
cards with these people on them or something.
No. And like King County execs and all that kind of shit,
I mean,
that's written down in the county.
Yeah, it's
Just
forever
you know,
there.
my bathroom remodel is down there too. It's like that's why we keep records. But that's also kind of the thing. It's like there's only been so many Seattle mayors.
Yeah.
50? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Right? You know what I mean? It's like that's a pretty exclusive fucking club. Don't be a dick.
Like
50 to 200 years.
Yeah, it's Wheaton's law. Wheaton's law, man. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, the only Congress people that I know by name are the ones who are always in the news the last few years, and it's like Boebert and fucking.
Sure.
What's
Some
her?
of the ones are a lot more human.
What's the blonde one's name? That's
Marjorie Taylor.
Yeah, the one that takes
Matt Gaetz, the cross-eyed forehead.
the cross. That's good.
It's just we just need to
those people I know
expect
them
better,
only because they're
right?
all over the news.
And I get it. There is a certain type of theater that's performed in politics, right? That's just how it is because you're taking people's money and trying to convince them that you're doing the right thing with it. You're not going to waste it or
anymore.
commit fraud, right?
It's like public access television now. It's not theater.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, speaking of Boebert in theater,
Oh.
did you hear the news about her seeing a Broadway show in Denver?
Yeah, she went to see Beetlejuice.
She went to go see Beetlejuice.
Oh, I didn't know Beetlejuice was a show.
It's a traveling Broadway production. She was seeing it in Denver with a male escort. Don't know who he is, boyfriend, whatever.
Not escort, brand escort, but
Whatever.
Okay.
And she was escorted out of the production. And there's actually video which shows different camera angles of her being asked to leave her seat all the way out to the sidewalk.
all right.
So apparently, what the theater is saying is that she was vaping, talking loud, taking
singing
pictures
along.
and videos, and singing
shit.
along. And any 8-year-old who goes to
It's
a
against
movie
the rules.
or
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
against
yeah.
the rules, and you know it's against the
Yeah,
rules. So she came in, was asked to leave. Couple ushers had to ask her to leave. I think one of them finally grabbed her purse and was like,
We're leaving.
"You're leaving, and the police are going to be called." And she's like, "Call the police. Do you know who I am?" She
Oh my
pulled the
God.
"Do you
Did
know who I
really?
am?"
Oh my God! And who was this?
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's like 40-something years old, right? She's acting
No,
like
she's
12.
36-year-old grandma.
All right, but she's acting like a
Yeah,
baby.
and her-
That's how
her-
children behave, dude.
her
That's
son-
not how adults behave.
Her son, who got his girlfriend pregnant, is like 15, right?
17.
Well, fuck.
But following the family, dynamic.
That's because that's her own business. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
But she is still a U.S. representative. She's still a U.S. citizen, but still, it's the immaturity there.
Yeah.
That shows
Well, and
the
you
type
can
of person
clearly
who's expected to
see
make
her-
quality decisions
You
as
can
a job.
clearly see her flip off one of the ushers on her way
Just
out too.
Yeah.
It's just
dumb.
dumb.
But she loves attention.
yes.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's
and
what
that
it's
becomes
about.
its own thing.
She,
yes.
she's like an
And that's the
Insta-
trouble with the
She's like a social media influencer.
I want Instagram fame, but it's dog shit. But I still want it. But it's dog shit.
Yeah, she just is like anybody else who's on the internet who has a social media account. They want to be the center of attention. That's why they make
Which I
videos.
think is like for Sarah Palin to do, because they're similar, right? It's the same type of politician. If Sarah does that now, hallelujah. Brands herself, promotes herself, whatever. That's her God-given right as a person with speech guarantees, right? But not when you're on the job.
Yeah.
Right? Boebert's job is she's a United States representative.
Right.
Right? Which means she represents the citizenry of the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that job. It's not right. That is the job. The rest of
Yeah.
it, she can wait until she's done, dude. It's only a couple of years, dude.
Don't
It's
get me
only a
wrong.
couple of
I don't
years.
like
You don't have to
Palin,
keep the
but I
job.
think she's leaps and bounds better than Boebert as far as.
I just think they're similar, right? So
I mean,
Yeah, they look similar too.
kind of, because it's
brunette, and
it's just
glasses,
dumb.
and all
It's
that.
just dumb.
It is dumb. It is dumb, and it's, we can do better. And what we need is whatever political stripe you follow, whatever line you hide behind. We need better quality people
and less
to
leader
represent us,
and more
and more doing.
productivity. Yeah. Nobody's. But the both of the moneyed, interested parties, and yes, I understand there are vast differences between. But there's the third way. Democrats have been in charge of the Democratic Party for quite some time.
Yes.
right. So you can't convince me that there's a non-corporate bent.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, fuck no, I forgot where I was going with that.
That's
but
okay.
the both of them, I don't know. It's not just the yes, just do the job. But they win if the institution fails. That's where I was going with that. It's both of these moneyed interests, because in this case, like years ago, it would have been church power would have done better if the state failed. Right, but nowadays it's corporate power, and corporate power will do much better if the United States institutions fail and cannot rein in these other powers that are used typically to trample human rights.
Right.
No doy. Yes. Yeah, man. So that's why we need to keep, progressing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that does hold back these other powers is democracy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. Now I'm depressed.
Well, I might have some interesting news for you,
Oh, hey.
Mike, because I know
Thank you.
you like the conspiracy theory stuff.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, the Secret Service agent that had was there at the parade day in Dealey Plaza with JFK on the day he was assassinated, he has come out and told his tale, which somewhat debunks the magic bullet theory.
Sure.
So what he's saying is that after the assassination, after the shots rang out and the president and the governor were on their way to the hospital, he went back to the car and found a bullet lodged in the back seat or in one of the seats of the...
Kind of resting in the seat. I
Resting
think
in
it
the
is.
seat. Yeah, it wasn't even shot into it. So he picked it up and thought they might need this and put it on the president's gurney.
Yeah.
Or stretcher.
Yep.
And then his theory is that at some point the stretchers kind of collided together and the bullet rolled over to Conley's stretcher, and that's where the doctors found
that's
it.
simply not possible. Simply not possible.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, the magic
That's-
bullet
that's
theory
stretching
sounds
right
That's
there.
even more magical that they suddenly
Crazy?
just bumped over it and popped out
Yeah.
a different thing. I don't know. It's
That's
fascinating.
That just sounds like a stoner what if.
but that's saying that the shots in between, because on the Zapruder film you could see the one that pushes him back into the seat.
Yeah.
And the next shot are 1 second apart.
Yeah.
Right. And that's always been the rub. It's like, well, there's the second shooter, because there's no way that Lee Harvey Oswald could do what the mechanism necessary to reload and fire again, let alone get a really better shot.
Better shot, yeah.
That's always been the argument, right? Is not 1 second.
First shot
not
should be
enough
the
time.
most accurate,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you're sweating bullets, you're loading the next shot.
I don't know.
I did find out another thing fascinating that I did not know.
And they didn't interview this guy either. He never got interviewed for the Warren Commission.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he was her bodyguard, or he was her Secret Service, Jackie's, for 6 months.
Oh,
Afterwards, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so he stayed on and then he quit because I think he was depressed.
Yeah, I would be too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But another fascinating thing is, I guess JFK suffered from bad posture, and he had some kind of back brace on that day. So he wasn't able to bend, so the first shot comes out, and I can't remember where he was hit with the first shot.
I thought it was the one that pushed him back against the seat.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was. But because in that, you might assume that you would automatically sort
But it
of
was the
hit
body.
the deck,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, but he
because he had a
had
back brace, he wasn't able
It
to
just
get...
seemed like he was set up.
Yeah, it totally
I don't
does.
know. I saw the JFK film a number of times at the Roxy Theater right across the street, like a number of times.
Yeah.
And I think I saw it also in the First Run Theater, but it's just like, oh my God. I don't know. It's
I always said that
and I
if
haven't
like
done a whole lot of
10%
study.
of that
Yeah,
stuff that he
exactly.
put was true,
Oh man,
it's like, wow.
It's another one of
Right.
those things, just like with the 9/11 commission report. It's like I don't really know what happened. It's just too fucking big for me to wrap all of it
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
But I know it didn't happen like that.
Everything's
Have-
just
Right?
too
It just,
convenient.
no, it
on
just
that.
there's no. It just didn't. I might not know what happened, but that ain't it.
Yeah.
Have
Right.
either of you seen the documentary that came out shortly after 9/11 called Loose Change?
Yes.
No.
The version I watched was called Loose Change Second Edition, and I don't know if I guess there's a couple versions after that as information comes out.
Yeah.
they said-
Same kind of. If 10% of that.
Oh.
Right. Same
Is
kind of
another
thing.
one of that.
Oh yeah. Then
It's
yeah,
like there's lots of like, this is why this happened, this is why this happened, and this is what this, and this it could have been this because of this.
There's a whole bunch of.
And it was like,
on that day.
did that make sense? I'm sitting there watching, going, oh yeah, that makes sense, and then I'm like, no, that's stupid. No.
And that's another one of those things where no matter what the starting with a spark was, where we went with it was obviously corrupt and evil and cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all the torturous shit, fucking shipping people off to Cuba, you know what I mean? Extrajudicial fucking murders and kidnappings and fucking all the gross shit that happened, let alone like
The death of
just
Pete
bombing
Davidson's
and
dad.
blowing people. I mean, all sorts of fucking gross shit happened. It was really bad. Based on, I'm not sure now.
Yeah.
Right? What was it? People died. No doubt in my mind that the towers, something happened there.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not even remotely convinced that it went down like it was.
Do you guys remember where you were when you found out about that?
Found out about what?
The
9/11?
9/11.
Oh yeah, no, I remember exactly what I was doing. Oh yeah.
I can tell you, I was trying to sleep. I had gone to bed maybe an hour before because I was up all night because I had friends over and we were playing video games and watching movies and shit.
Yeah, I know.
And I had to work the next day, and I was woken up a couple hours after I went to bed saying, we're under attack. I was like, what are you talking about? And it's like, they're on there watching the news, and
But before flat screen TVs.
I had one of those Sony Trinitron, like, it was an old fucking, like, CRT, but it had a flat screen on it.
Oh, nice.
Was it-
Yes.
But the Ouija or whatever. Anyways, I came in there just in time to see the second plane hit.
Ugh.
And I'm
yeah.
like, what is it? What are you guys watching? And they're like, this is the news. I'm like, oh, this has got to be a movie. I was like, no, this is the news. This is happening right now in New York. And I was just blown away by it.
No, it's insane. It's the whole thing. And there really were like drills going on, you know what I mean, that mimicked a similar accident. You know what I mean? It was
Like
just
a
the
week
whole thing.
beforehand, right?
Like, I mean, yes. It's
Yeah.
nuts. The whole thing is just adds up so weird.
Yeah.
But all things do. That's how humans piece things do. That's why we can look at the stars and see a bear.
And see constantly.
Right? It's not a fucking bear.
It's the
our
mind
minds
always
putting
trying to
things together.
figure
Yes.
something
There's a-
familiar.
But
There's
that
a name
doesn't-
for that,
But then I got two words for you. Building 7.
Yeah.
Right? Explain that to me.
Oh,
There's no way.
that's the one that wasn't hit but still collapsed?
Yeah, it perfectly within its footprint.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, what the fuck, dude? Come on. Something's weird. Something's
Yeah.
weird. And I don't know what.
Yeah.
You know, but something's weird. Something's
I
weird.
think there's definitely more going on there than what we're told, but I don't necessarily believe all the truthers out there, which are like, the government did it and da 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 and da da da.
Because at that point, that's not the government. That's some other entity.
It's
Right.
or people who are calling it a false flag, so we can go after whoever we want or whatever.
Well, yes.
Sure, open
but
the
that doesn't
door.
make it a false
Yeah.
flag. That means somebody did it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I just don't know that it happened the way we're told it happened. It's weird.
that video also had it was talking about how the
And there's just some weird
possibility of what hit the Pentagon was probably a missile and not a plane because of the damage that was that had been done to the building, and the fact that that part of the building was empty because of renovations and stuff.
Yeah. And some of that, right, again, that can be us finding pattern where there's not a natural pattern,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I don't know. We could talk about that all day. But
Yeah.
neither of those have I, overly studied, right?
Yeah.
But I believe my eyes. Right, and in both of those, I go, nope. Nope. That's because I can believe my eyes because I'm not because I'm considered a sane human. right? So I'm going to continue
Critical
to do
thinking
that.
person.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. How about you
Well,
guys?
speak for yourself.
What were you guys doing when that happened?
Working.
Yeah.
Got to work early, and as I did, we didn't have a TV in the office. It was one of the businesses I started with some other guys. I was the first one to get there and just cranked on a CD or something in there, just blasting music till everybody else showed up. And then one of the guys came in, and he's like, why aren't you listening to the news? I'm like, don't you know what's going on? I'm like, no,
I'm
idea.
working.
Yeah, I'm working. And then we flipped on the news, and then it was like, somebody go buy a TV and see if we can watch this stuff. But yeah, no, it was
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. Office in Federal Way.
How about you, Mikey?
I was getting my kid ready for school. Yeah, I think he was going into second grade. I think.
Wow.
Going to walk up the street.
I'll tell you this. So where I was working at the time was a company called Earthlink, which was an internet provider. And like for probably 2 weeks after that, every call was like, when is my internet coming back? Because everybody's internet was out because that was a major hub for
Oh,
internet.
jeez. Huh.
Yeah. So like everybody who had phones in New York City had to get their phones routed through New Jersey to get phone calls after the attack.
Yeah, that's back when people liked Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
America's
man.
mayor.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Although a bunch of weird shit. He didn't do a great job necessarily. And I don't know. It's been a minute, right? So I don't necessarily
Well,
all
his
the tack up,
tactics
but
were pretty shitty, too.
Yeah, no, I'm-
Stop and frisk.
oh yeah, no. I just mean for his 9/11 response.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I saw
I mean,
him-
even George W. Bush looked good when he showed up and he
Yeah.
had the blowhorn and.
Oh
the
man,
thing.
go shopping. Motherfucker. Yeah.
Did you hear
yeah,
about-
but remember, and he was paralyzed for like 17 minutes with fucking
After
My
the
Pet Goat.
My
or some
Pet
dog
Goat,
shit.
yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude.
Oh my
And
god. The whole thing was madness.
Have you guys
madness.
heard people complaining that Biden did his 9/11 speech from Alaska?
Yeah,
Like,
why are they complaining?
it's like,
Well,
could you be any further away from New York?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Well,
He was at a
But
military
then he's
base.
not in Pennsylvania, right? Because that would also correct.
Right.
You know, people died there, and people died at the Pentagon. It's like, does it have to be New York? Why does it have to be New York?
I think he was,
Again, we're
he
all
was coming
Americans,
back
man.
from
Yeah.
working his ass off. He went to the G7 and then he went to
hung out in Vietnam.
Vietnam.
We're best friends with Vietnam now.
Yeah.
Like fuck, who could have?
You guys making a movie? What are you doing here?
People are like, well, that's disrespectful. It's like, dude, fucking W.
Oh, don't be dumb.
W was sitting there reading a book to kindergartners when it happened.
Yeah. No, and
Don't
that's
give
just
me that.
finding something to gripe about.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
silly. That's silly.
It's
It is.
silly.
performative.
Because he is doing his job.
performative outrage.
And I mean, we became best friends with
Manufactured for
Vietnam.
sure, yeah.
And then the next day, I think, they ordered $9 billion from Boeing instead of Airbus and shit. I'm like, I mean, that's the corporate welfare that benefits Renton, Washington, right? Because that's the 737 MAX, right? So thanks
yeah.
for the corporate welfare, I guess. But that's precisely what
We're
that
not
was.
seeing that
Make
money.
no mistake. So we pay Joe Biden to go schmooze with Vietnam, and God bless, right?
Right.
Because I ain't got weirdness.
That's South Vietnam, though, right?
no,
Well,
it's
it's
all
Vietnam.
one country.
They're
now.
one country. Yeah, no, they won. No, the communists won. They have a single party. They're not great.
Oh,
with
I'm thinking
fucking
of
political
Korea. Never
prisoners.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm thinking
No,
of
there are
Korea.
two Koreas still. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, but that whole mission was obviously to score Boeing money.
Yeah.
or the corporation's money, but obviously Boeing, right?
Yeah.
Boeing triple dips.
Speaking of Korea, did you guys see that Kim Jong Un
my
is
God.
on his way to
Yeah.
Russia, but he's taking a armored train, which goes like 30 miles an hour?
Yeah, no, he arrived. They hung out.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's there.
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, I figured it might be a week or two before he gets there.
Armored train is great. Are the tracks armored?
I have
bro?
no idea.
It's like, that seems like a pretty easy thing.
No
to fucking
helicopter,
waylay, dude. People
no
have been robbing and blowing
jet,
up trains for 250
No car.
years.
He's taking a big old
Yeah.
train.
He-
And then they
He's
got into
taking
an
a-
armored limo, a Russian-made.
Oh, is he?
armored limo when they got there?
Is it really armored then?
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
You guys, everybody, all these fucking weird motherfuckers who think they love authoritarianism, move to Russia.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
like black people. You want everybody fucking conservative Christian, move to Russia.
yeah.
Because that's how they're playing their game, dude. You don't think we should have press freedom, lock them up, move to Russia. Try it on for size.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not okay.
No.
America's way better. Way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, he's there to sell Putin shells, artillery shells, and stuff because North Korea uses old Soviet,
sizes and shapes,
and calibers and all that. So, trying to rearm.
That also means that he'll demand some type of newer tech in return.
Oh, or for some rice for his people,
Maybe, yeah. Well, that's why Putin,
for his
that's why
people.
Putin needs Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
Because Putin doesn't. I mean, he's got a bunch of land. He
Wait.
does make plenty of food.
So are
but
you
he
saying
could
that-
use more?
Are
Yeah.
you saying that Kim Jong-un actually cares about his people?
Well, I just mean that they are starving. So, I mean, you can't let everybody die, right?
No, and he needs to hedge his bets, right? Because he's completely dependent upon China,
Right.
Right, and China can change their mind if they want to, right? Because they're not getting anything in return. So he can hedge his bets a little bit, and plus he can buy coal from him.
Yeah.
He can buy oil from him. It's like, I don't know.
I was reading another article about how I think it was the last World Cup that North Korea was playing in, and they had a huge amount of fans, North Korean fans in the stands, and it's like, well, wait a minute, travel out of North Korea is severely limited. So how did all these fans find their way to Brazil or wherever it was? Ended up being that North Korea paid Chinese actors to come down and be North Korea's fans.
I thought
and
you were going to
wave
say they
flag.
just bought a bunch of fans off of Amazon.
Well, kind of, but they're from China, so made in China.
And just set up a bunch of standing fans.
That's
Just
and have
cardboard.
them oscillate back and forth.
Oh my god!
And just have like a stick with like cardboard cutouts so that it like does this.
Nice. Did you guys hear North Africa is getting hit hard on a couple things? In Morocco,
Yeah, I know,
there
that's
was
awful.
a huge
Yeah.
earthquake, and in Libya, there's tons of flooding.
Well, 2 dams burst.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Okay.
So they had torrential rain, which is bad enough, but this isn't from like landslides or anything. This 2 dams blew up.
They got, and I thought they got like 8 months worth of rain in like a day.
Bummer.
Or something
Yeah.
like just some crazy
deluge.
volume of water, and entire villages have
And
like
I think
disappeared.
in 2011, from what I understand, at least one of the dams was flagged by some, either structural engineer or
Engineer,
somebody going, somebody needs to do
So they
something
had
with
a
this.
great
But dams
flood?
are really expensive. They had a what?
They had a great flood.
The
is what you're
Great
saying?
Flood? Yeah, I guess they
Yeah.
did. It's a bunch of dead people. It's pretty bad.
yeah, it's thousands of
Because, Benghazi's a big city nearby.
Right.
And I think it just flooded them out. It's awful.
man. Just
Yeah, dams are something that you don't think about. Yeah, isn't that Lord of the Rings 2, right? Where the Ents released the dam.
Oh,
I
and
think so,
quenched
yeah.
Saruman.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
you, Saruman. Yeah, they put
Washed
his
them
flame.
out, yeah.
It's great. Oh, yeah.
put out the fires.
See ya.
Yeah.
But
They
in
weren't
this
going to think
case,
about it for a few hundred years first. But
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, but Libya, geez, I don't know. They're in a pinch right now because they have 2 governments, neither
Right.
of which has any real desire to help
No.
the citizenry necessarily.
No.
But like Marrakesh got,
yeah, what was it was a big earthquake centered right there.
Yeah.
again.
Oh, man. So then, I don't know. Both of them could probably use a lot of equipment and specialists, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Atlas Mountains, I guess,
Jeez.
in Morocco.
Yeah.
And just very few roads to get there.
Right,
They don't
and
have
small
a bunch of choppers.
villages and, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Jeez.
It'd be nice to have a bunch of helicopters, right, at your
Yeah.
disposal.
Yeah.
Because you can make smaller landing fields for them, but
Right.
they also need tractors and stuff to help dig people out,
Right. Yeah. Somebody suggested carrying around a sausage with you so that when the rescue dogs come.
Oh, that's fucking gnarly. Oh, that's some shit, man.
Speaking of gallows humor, right?
Ah, that's
Wow.
Honk my nose. But speaking of natural disasters and stuff, the fire in Maui, The Rock, Dwayne
And
Johnson,
Oprah.
and Oprah have got together to try to raise money. They started the People Fund of Maui, I think is what it's
Yeah.
called, and they're asking for donations. And when I first read this, I was kind of like, motherfuckers, you got more money than God, right? You're asking us.
Oprah
common
does.
people.
I don't know about The Rock. He's
I bet
wealthy,
he's
but he's
doing
not.
okay, yeah.
He's not Oprah rich,
I don't
but
think
he's
he's
rich.
Oprah rich.
Combined, they got billions, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
I think
I was
she
like,
has
why are they
billions.
asking for money from me when they could just drop 10 million and remake it in a year, right? But I guess they did start off the People's Fund with a $10 million donation from them, which is great.
Yeah.
But again, it's almost like, you guys are so rich, right?
Well, they used to have this thing called a progressive tax rate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think this ends up being some type of UBI. That all the people affected by this get like $1,200 a month.
That's true.
Something. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
Direct
because
to
guess
the
what?
person.
UBIs work.
Yeah.
You want to relieve people's stress? Give them fucking money.
Right.
Right? You want to stimulate the economy? Guess what? Give people money.
Yeah. Don't set them up with, paper towels and
Yeah.
Right.
or give it to a charity that's holding most of it.
Well, and I would say all of the
admin.
above.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they don't have child care costs. They have all this other stuff, right? It's like
Yeah, they
still
lost
food,
their entire fucking house.
You know,
I mean, they
food,
gotta-
water,
yeah.
and toiletry stuff. Those are still, if that's an emergency, that's something that all of us can provide.
Right.
Because that's what humans need. And they're American citizens, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And
So
we need
they
to
were-
rethink how our military responds to things as well.
I
And I know they probably have
totally
a...
agree.
and not a, what's the state militia called? The National Guard. Thank you very much. Which is a state militia. Thank you very much.
Right.
So that is what that is.
Yeah.
With a good budget, etc. Why isn't that not more geared towards this sort of thing where you
Right.
can help things?
Yeah.
Right.
I remember U2, right after Katrina, came out with a video, and it showed the devastation in New Orleans. It showed all these folks just living in squalor inside the, is it the Superdome down there?
They want to-
Just
Yeah.
all this shit. But then they superimposed, because the Bush administration basically did very slow walk to help these
Yeah, that's
folks
how
out.
Kanye got
very
famous.
slow walk.
Right?
Yeah.
He's all, George W.
Yeah.
Bush does not care about
Doesn't
black
care
people.
about black
And
people.
everybody was like, you know what? The evidence would suggest what you're saying, crazy
Right there.
person Kanye.
Yeah. But so U2 does this video, and it's like, what if we did this? And it had all these military helicopters carrying in pallets of relief aid and food, and he had all these military Humvees and stuff coming down to provide security for
Yes,
these
setting up
folks. and
bivouacs,
setting up
tents.
hospitals,
Yeah.
and whatever. It's
Yes.
like, why the fuck did we not do this?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, instead we...
That's a great question. And I know, like, posse comitatus and such, you can't have
is it what?
soldiers, posse comitatus, which is Latin for don't,
Yeah.
you can't have soldiers in my house.
Right.
And you can't have soldiers occupying American cities.
Right.
Because you see that in Mexico, right? That's what the federale dudes are. Those are soldiers, right? We don't do that in the United States. So it's
Hence
like,
why we rely
which
on
is
the
great.
National Guard.
Yes, because that's constitutionally mandated.
Right.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why we used to have armories and all that shit. Blah 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 blah. But yeah. So why aren't we, steering in that direction then?
I don't know.
Now that we've had 23, I do believe, $1 billion or more superstorms so far this storm season, whatever the fuck storm season is.
Yeah.
And so now FEMA, now that other things have come up, they're like, well, now we're down to we only have money to give to the highest level of emergencies, right? This other kind of secondary shit of say, places to poop or whatever. That's way down the list, bro. Right? So I don't know. I don't know why we're so bad about gearing up for the trends that we see coming.
Right.
And I would say, with Morocco and stuff like that, that's a great place for the U.S. military to at least bring things, right? They don't have to take charge necessarily, but they certainly have logistics down.
They got the
They
hospitals
move heavy
there.
objects,
They can get
all
stuff
sorts of places.
done.
They build fucking magnificent structures out of jack fucking shit
Right.
all over the planet and quickly.
Yeah.
Right? They have to be invited, I suppose, and or the UN.
But they have to
right? That should
ask
be
if
something
they
the
want
UN
to
can
be
do.
invited,
I would think. And maybe that's not, that's something we should use some of our military budget to push on to the UN, right? And make them have an arm that is specific to the earthquakes or fire or flood response, these different specialty responses, right?
Yeah.
And have them equipped and trained to be able to, at least then we could bring the personnel there, but the personnel aren't military, right? But we could still transport them easily.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, something. But we just need, as a species, decide what we're going to concentrate on.
Well,
Where does
yeah.
our money go?
What's
What do
it
we
worth?
concentrate
Yeah.
on? You know?
Yeah. Holy moly. We
But
guys want to...
UBI save lives.
Yes.
UBI would save millions of lives. It's the next logical step.
Yeah. In a little bit of fun news, did you know that Elon Musk has 11 children?
No, I did not know that.
He named
What?
his last kid Techno Mechanicus. Shit you not. Kid's name is Techno Mechanicus. And he has an older sibling, and I can't pronounce this. Maybe the math whiz among us, Mike, and older kid named X.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That looks like a math problem more than a name.
Yeah. So you might have to Google this, folks, because I have no idea.
It's
how
the
to
A
pronounce
with the E attached to it, and then it has a space, and then an A, and then a hyphen XII,
it. Yeah.
and then
I'm
a
sure
closed
it,
bracket.
I'm sure it,
Or not
spells
bracket.
out something like Xavier or something
It's
like
probably
that. But
South African or some shit. Yeah.
I don't know if that's South Africa. That's
all right.
more, math.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
if
I don't know much about
It might
that
be
guy.
Africans. I don't know. I mean,
don't know.
we don't know.
11 kids. I didn't
11
know that.
kids. I mean, he's trying to repo. He's like, what's his face? The host of
Oh,
Mariah Carey's ex-husband.
yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Oh,
Troy-
God.
Cannon?
Nick Cannon, yes.
He's trying to populate the world with his own seed.
my
we're
God.
we're all
I
going to
don't
look
know.
like Elon and Nick Cannon.
Oh, my
Now we
God.
know why
Great.
Nick
Future
Cannon is on
Great.
every show
We're a
right now.
failure species.
100
Throw us
years from
back.
now,
Throw
we
us
all look
back.
like Nick Cannon. He's not a bad-looking kid. But
Who,
we're
Nick
all
Cannon?
going to look.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But we're all
mean,
going to look.
Yeah,
just like
because wasn't that the thing about who's the Mongolian horde leader? Genghis
Oh,
Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Is that he's got 1% of the human population has his
yeah.
something astounding,
Yeah.
something just bonkers.
Yeah.
Like, kid be hollering.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, those were the bad old days, people.
Right.
I mean, things are not perfect now, and we should continue to progress. But that was a rough time. That's rough.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Man, oh
Did you hear about the guys driving? Did we talk about this? The construction dude and some lady who drove through the Great Wall of China on a bulldozer.
What?
Oh, were they
Yeah.
Chinese citizens?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh
they-
man, I bet they're not having a
By
good time right
accident,
now.
or-
I don't know. They had to get from one side to the other. Like, well, let's take the shortcut. yeah.
It's-
And so what I'm
it's
worried
an
about is
old
now the
building, no-
Mongols got a straight shot.
They're taking over.
They're just like, it's an old wall. No one's gonna notice.
Oh man,
It's how many miles? 900 miles long or something crazy.
Oh my god.
I don't think it's actually that long. I think the section that we always see in pictures is only like 20 miles long.
Oh, it's more than 20 miles.
Yeah.
It's definitely more than 20.
Yeah, but it's not like
It's a hell of a thing.
not
though.
as-
I wish we could
it's not-
look
Yeah.
up and see how long.
I remember hearing
Man.
something that
but
is-
it's still. I'm
only 20
not.
miles
we
of
gotta
China
believe
is
it.
like-
Let's just say it is a short wall. I'm still not driving through it. Kind of the point of the wall is to not drive through it.
maybe they had too much to drink and they couldn't get an
Oh,
Uber,
man.
so
I bet they're going to the
Oh,
education.
I was
camp right
way
now, dude.
off. It's actually 13,171 miles long.
What?
Oh, no, sorry. It is 13,171 is 21,196 kilometers.
That's amazing. 13,000 miles. Jesus.
I
That's
distinctly remember
impressive.
somewhere saying that the section we always see in
Yeah.
photos isn't that long.
The wall constructed during the Ming Dynasty, the most well-preserved section is about 5,500 miles, 5,499 miles long.
Jeez,
I must be
that's
remembering it
friggin-
correctly.
that's impressive.
Long.
I just
That's some
remember,
motivated people. How do you pay all that? Because you got to feed. Even
gotta-
slaves have to eat.
Army, you have to, a huge
Yeah,
army.
I mean that's amazing.
well, the reason I think what I was remembering that the wall is long, but the vast majority of it is like decayed and falling apart in most places.
yeah.
But the pictures we always see are like a small section of the greater wall.
Yeah, that must be the well-preserved.
It's like
spot they're
700
talking
years
about.
old.
But like there's sections of it that are just basically piles of rocks.
No,
That's
sure.
bonkers.
But the Mongols, they don't don't bother.
Yeah, they're taking it easy these days.
They're
Yeah.
going around.
Yeah, they got. Yeah.
My
I
point is,
wonder how far they had to go with the bulldozer before they could get. I mean, there's got to be like
Yeah.
arches and stuff to get through.
I wonder
right?
if the section they drove through was one of the sections I talked about that's not really looks like that.
Sure.
It's just a pile of rubble that they
bet
climbed
they're
over.
hoping so. That's going to be their argument, whether it was or not, for sure.
Yeah.
As they're sent off to re-education camp, dude, you know it.
Yeah.
Or they're going to
they're-
just harvest their fucking organs.
They're gonna get shipped off to Russia.
Oh, they're going to be herding units. Yeah, it's like, I ran over the Washington Monument or something. It's like, you're not going to have a good
like-
time.
It's like someone replacing Lincoln's head with a monkey.
I saw that
Oh,
movie.
man.
I did too. That's what.
I have this little section that I created for the show tonight. I read an article on scandals that we've forgotten about, but I tailored it to scandals that we forgot about that we shouldn't have. Do we
Okay.
you guys want to jump into that a little
Yeah,
bit?
let's do it.
Let's see.
The
Scandal.
first
Starring
one
Patti Smith.
is the financial crash of 2008 and how all the individuals responsible saw little to zero consequences of their actions. So this was pre-Dodd-Frank. This was the mortgage lenders that were doing huge subprime loans to people that really couldn't afford the houses they were buying, and created this huge bubble which just affected everybody. It didn't just bring down the housing market. It ran up inflation. It ran down the stock market. Just everybody was in a panic. People weren't buying. Just the whole gamut.
And
it took forever to get out of it.
It did. And it allowed.
Isn't that when the government bailed out a bunch of banks too?
I'm sure. Yeah.
And it allowed, like the Redfins of the world to just buy up vast amounts of that
Yes.
housing stock, as
Yeah.
they call it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
we
they could
have
manipulate pricing.
We did get Dodd-Frank out of it, which was good. Really regulated, what banks could do. But I know that there's certain political parties that are trying to tear down some of those regulations
dumb.
already.
Yeah. So dumb.
We're not that far out of it. Do you guys remember Cambridge Analytica during
the
the
devil.
2016? They used social media and social science to manipulate entire countries.
Yeah.
They helped
Towards authoritarianism.
exactly
Every time.
help
Every single time.
facilitate
Yeah.
Brexit, cause a huge cultural divide in the U.S. And they used false means to get Facebook, and I don't know how much they actually needed to. Facebook probably offered them at a cost, but they supposedly used fake means to sort of trick Facebook to give user information. They kind of said that they were a
game, probably.
they were studying. They were like a college. We're writing a college paper. Can you give us all this stuff? They were writing a paper on it, and so Facebook was like, "Oh yeah, here you go," and they used that to gain information on a select group of users, and then use that to extrapolate their friends' information as well. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and just
It's gross.
I just
Yeah, it's just
assumed that they
disgusting.
used all those stupid Facebook games to gather information because people install those
that's
games.
one of the things that they can do, because you give them a ton of personal information.
When you play those games,
Yeah.
you're giving away a bunch of information. That's
and
why I
then you
don't
send
play
it
those
to your
games.
friend,
Yeah.
and they do it, and
Oh, and the worst thing was like Facebook was like automatically just inviting all of your friends, regardless if you told it or not.
right, yeah.
So that's why I disabled a lot of that shit when I first got onto Facebook.
And the people that invested in Cambridge Analytica were heavy hitters, conservative hitters in British politics.
Sure.
They were the ones that money, and then it was like Ted Cruz campaign started spending a ton of money on them to get
It's
hundreds of
terribly
thousands
effective.
of dollars
Sure,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
But it's just very gross.
Yes,
and it's a perversion of what our democracy should be working with.
And Cambridge Analytica is no longer with us, but a lot of those players have moved on to other things, and nobody ever got any kind of, nothing.
No, and Steve Bannon kind of failed upwards. I think he was facing charges for defrauding somebody or something.
Oh, yeah,
right?
he was part of it too, right?
But I know. Oh, yeah. No, that was his baby.
That was his thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what a gross human being.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. And he
What
just,
did
but the thing is,
Trump
they just,
nickname him
I don't know.
Sloppy Steve.
But yeah, something. I don't know. But the lies that I'll just say Nazi, right? But the lies that they will tell people are just vast and bottomless, right? They will continue to spin everything to get your emotions riled up, to make you mistrust not just institution, but your fellow citizenry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's lies.
Yeah.
It's lies because they want you to give up the belief that your citizen friends are capable of magnificent works.
Yep.
Right? Because all of us, if given the freedom to do so, can commit wonderful works.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they're afraid of. Fuck Nazis.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember 3 years ago, we had this little pandemic thing that went around. Everybody stayed home.
I vaguely remember something.
Kind of
about
remember that. Several lawmakers here in the United States sold off stock right at the start of COVID, right before it was sort of announced, right? They sold off a bunch of stock because right after it was like mandating masks and stay home and all that stuff, the stock market, as soon as that news came out, the stock market dropped. And these fucking lawmakers knew it was coming. So they sold off a bunch of their stock before they lost a bunch of money on it. So they used and this is Democrats and Republicans, looking at you, Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, knew it was coming, used the insider trading of their job to allow them to do this. On the flip coin is right after it happened, there was 75 different lawmakers, again, both parties, that bought and sold stock in companies that made the vaccines and the treatments and the tests for it. So they knew again, Moderna's coming out with a...
I mean, that's just obviously immoral and should be just illegal.
It should be totally
It really
illegal.
should be illegal.
Yeah.
And that's an easy fix.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm
because
not saying
that's not
anybody...
why they're doing the job.
Yeah.
That is not the perk of the job. If you want to be rich, there's a lot of ways to be rich, but you can't be rich while you're doing that. You can't get rich doing that job.
Yes.
That's against the whole point.
Yeah.
It's service.
Right.
It's a public service that you're committing. Right.
They totally need to divest, right, or hand over all the reins, and if they're found to be sort of
brokers do that all the time. All
exactly.
the time, dude.
Yeah.
There's that's not however could we do that?
Yeah,
that's done
all the time. Just manage my fund. I'm going to be in Congress for 2 years. I can't know anything.
Yeah, you just step back from it.
Just step back from it.
Or don't take the job.
Right?
If that is more important to you than doing that public service, then simply don't take the job.
Right.
You don't have to, right? Nobody's forcing, you're not drafted into the job.
Exactly. You're not forced into it. You're not gun to your head.
Yeah, no, it's just gross. And but, the wealthy don't want robust sunlight laws or robust, rules and regulatory systems that combat that shit, right?
No.
So we got to have it'll weed itself out if we have the regulatory systems, right? Because then the corrupt people won't fucking go for it because they can't get away with it.
It's not worth it,
right? It's just not worth
it. Speaking of shit oil salesmen... Snake oil salesman, I guess is what I was trying to say. BP oil spill. Do you remember the Deepwater Horizon in 2010? One of the worst, probably the worst oil spill.
As far as I know,
ever.
Yeah.
Dumped
really
millions and millions of gallons of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. 11 people died and 17 were injured when the explosion happened.
Yeah.
Nobody's done any real jail time. It sounds like
and
BP,
it's like a $12 part or something that they had skipped.
Yes.
Yeah.
BP owned it.
And are still allowed to.
Halliburton and somebody else was like running it, and nobody's been ever convicted on these people dying.
No fines or anything?
They got fined and they paid those fines, but it's like,
they
it's
don't care.
It's cheaper to pay the fines than. Yeah.
Well, is it possible that the people that were responsible are now dead?
I don't think so. I think they were. Well,
it wasn't found to be a crime to have the negligence and then just the absolute.
And they also knew that there was a certain amount of pumping volume that they should be doing on that rig, and they like doubled or tripled the amount that it was pushing. And and they didn't, and they knew that it wasn't equipped, and that rig was known for just shoddy safety practices.
Bummer.
So
OSHA would have shut them down immediately, huh?
Well, geez, I bet there's not. You're 2 miles out to sea.
Yeah, it's
Who's
hard
the
to-
international? Not quite international. Then you still have to have a lease, but nobody's going out there.
yeah.
Right, and that's also the thing, because that is, West Texas crude is the fucking basis, right?
Yeah.
But how come they have to go 2 miles out?
I don't know. It's just
Right, because there's
easy
no
to-
fucking oil inland.
Yeah.
They already got it.
Yeah, that's
right.
probably
If
true,
they
yeah.
didn't have to be 2 miles out, they wouldn't be 2 miles out.
I drink your milkshake.
Oh man.
Speaking of dumping shit in the water, DuPont, which is still a very active company, when they were producing Teflon way back, dumped loads and loads of bad chemicals into water. Just illegally dumped it.
Well.
And they were poisoning people. I think it was New Jersey.
Just doing it.
People all over the world giving them 6 known types of cancer.
Oh,
and they
that's awful.
covered it up for decades. But
Yeah.
that company is still around.
Sure.
I mean, shouldn't they have been shut down?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and that's where I say you kind of lose your right to private property when you do shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Because they
Right.
do that you lose your liberty as a citizen. So as a business, as a corporation, you should lose your right to do business. You lose the liberty to do business, right? BP, obviously, should have just fucking lost everything and then had all their shit confiscated by us and either sold off to pay for all the damages,
Right.
or just controlled by us and maybe sold into a conservatorship or some other shit.
Yeah.
It's like, and I say the same for other companies that do shoddy, dangerous, gross, shitty shit, right? Steal them. Fuck them.
Yeah.
You can't do business here.
No.
You're not gonna. You will not profit from from damaging our shit.
Do better.
Yeah, or just don't exist. You
Or
can't.
don't
You don't have the right
exist,
to do business
Yeah.
here, right?
Didn't BP go out of business though?
No, they
No,
changed
BP
it.
still
Well,
exists.
it was British
Yeah.
Petroleum, but they changed their name to just BP.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they're doing fine.
Yeah,
So they're
just
no
like
longer,
Exxon.
They're no longer
yeah.
British Petroleum, but they're still called BP.
They're still called BP.
DP.
And I don't think it.
Double penetration.
Yeah. There's a
Oh man.
South Park where they
Oh, yeah.
go nuts with it.
There's the movie that those guys did called Orgasmo.
Yeah, oh my
There's
God.
a scene in the movie where he's talking about DVDA, and he's like, "What is that? Double vaginal, double anal." And if you don't think that does something to my body, you're wrong.
Oh my God. I don't know how you get 4 guys in the same
Yeah.
general vicinity.
She was really, really, really old.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say pliable, but
I mean, that's kind of what I'm implying.
yeah. But do you really want to hurt me, Boy George?
Yeah.
And I never heard this before.
No, I remember that. And then he was just on tour like a year ago.
Yes,
So
in
it's like, fuck that guy.
2008,
Yeah.
he was convicted of kidnapping a Norwegian model and male escort. He was told he was going up for like a photo session, and Boy George handcuffed him to the inside. I don't know how long he held him for.
Quite a while, actually.
Was it
Yeah,
like
I think
days?
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
So did, right, Rick James, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Rick
Same
James.
kind of thing. It's like
yeah.
man, no, kidnapped and sexually assaulted somebody.
Yes.
It's like fuck off. You're not welcome back after that.
Right.
Did he like fall off the wagon? Did he start using cocaine again? Is that what happened?
Who, Rick James?
No, Boy George.
I have no idea why he did this. The male escort says that he actually like whipped him and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like abused. I mean, bad enough to sexually assault and handcuff
Yeah,
them and
and
all that.
kidnap somebody.
Just kidnap somebody against their will in your apartment.
Not cool. What the?
So he ended up doing, I think, a limited amount of time. Can't remember. Beaten with a metal chain. But now Boy George is on Australian TV. He's like the Australia's Got Talent or something.
It's interesting
The
who
Voice
gets
or
forgiven
something.
for what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Like, holy
interesting
shit.
how, like, I mean, similar, not similar, but that singer, Oh fuck. Anyways, there was a singer who got himself into trouble here in the States. He got as some people would call it, he got Me Too'd. He basically got himself into trouble.
Alan Thicke or something.
No, not Robin either. But no, it's
Robin.
Yeah.
Alan's the good one. He's the
Alan's
dad.
his dad. Yeah.
Dad, yeah.
No, I'm Gnarls Barkley was his band. And I'm trying to think of a dude's name. Either way,
CeeLo Green.
CeeLo Green, that's the one. Yeah, he was on the American version of The Voice, and he got himself into trouble because I don't know all of what he did. All I know is he basically killed his career over here, so he went to UK and started doing TV and movies and stuff over there and music. He just moved to a different country and start over.
Well, was he convicted of anything?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a conviction is not, I mean, obviously, 5% of people in the U.S. jail.
At this point, if you're
but still, that's 95%. Right. So,
did we talk about Masterson last week?
We did not talk about that.
like I got 30 years.
30 years.
30 years to life.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing right now about that is that apparently Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis both gave like a statement to the judge, and it's come out and people are just shitting all over them.
I don't want to defend them in their defense.
No, I'm not going to defend them at all.
In their defense, it was to sort of mitigate how long he would, because he's already been convicted. This was like a sentencing mitigation. But yeah, as Todd said, man, it came out and it's like, hey, fuck you. What about the victims? They went to bat for him, saying that he's like their older brother and he's never done anything bad that they've witnessed, and he was never a drug guy, and they kept them sort of sane. But at the same time, there's all this shit coming out from when they were younger, where they're talking about, waiting on certain young actresses to hit 18 and just gross shit like that.
The girl from Lizzie McGuire and the Olsen twins.
Yeah, Kutcher and Masterson were joking about that. And then apparently Kutcher and Masterson had a bet on whether or not when Mila Kunis was 14 and he was like 18 or 17 in the show, they had an on-screen kiss because they were supposed to be closer in age.
And was she really 14?
Yeah, she was.
She
really
lied about
young.
her age when she got the job.
Yeah, and they knew she was 14, but then they were joking. They had like a bet where would Kutcher French kiss or try to stuff his tongue in her mouth at 14, and he's 18 or 17, and it was a big joke to them, right? But this, I mean, it's just the kind of shit, right? And I've never grown up Hollywood. I've never been a big time actor.
And a 17-year-old
except in my dreams
can make some really stupid mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah, but
because
you look back on it,
sure,
though.
but you're also not an adult.
Yeah.
Right? So the legality of it all, and I'm not excusing it, I'm just saying that's not the same thing as going to bat for a guy who got convicted of 2 rapes.
Most of the victims happened like early 2000s, right? Back when the show was like still kind of going. So it's that mentality.
How old was he when he supposedly committed these rapes?
He was over 18. He was adult,
in his 20s.
I don't know. What,
and it was over years.
I don't know.
It was over years. So I didn't read the case. I didn't hear the testimony. All I can do is trust the jury.
Because let's just say that he had been lying to him. No, I did not do this. I did not do this. So they're like, Judge, he's never lied to us before. He's telling us he didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. But after he got convicted, even if he was telling them he never did it, they still believe him?
Well, no, it wasn't.
It was like a character thing.
It was a please.
Oh.
It was a please.
No, you're on.
Yeah, I'm not on.
I'm not hearing anything. What do you get?
What? I don't know. I can hear everything. Uh-oh.
You hear everything?
I'm not. What?
It was a mitigation of sentencing. It was like, hey, he's our big brother. He was always a good guy. He's a good dad. It was like, can you give him 5 years instead of 30?
Right.
Or can you give him probation instead? It wasn't.
But that's still after the conviction.
But it's after the conviction. Yeah. But still, I mean, it kind of makes them look a bit shitty, right?
Yeah.
And they had to put out a statement afterwards.
Yeah, they did non-apology apology.
Yeah,
Where
they
like,
came out afterwards. Like, we're not trying to
you know,
lessen the victims,
we're
but
sorry if you were offended by what we said, kind of thing. And it was not a very. It was a long-winded unapology, is what I would call it.
I don't know. That's
yeah.
taking a
And
side.
I think
maybe
that-
they were really super tight and they just felt like
Oh, I'm
they
sure they
had to
are.
take his side or something. I don't know.
They could have also been paid by the Church of Scientology too. They're all about like handling stuff in house and
Are they
that
all those guys Scientology?
well, Masterson is. I don't know about the other two.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's possible they are.
Well,
The redhead, the guy who played the gal who played Eric's girlfriend on the show was also a Scientologist.
yeah, I heard she left, but
Oh, did
I
she?
don't know anything.
I don't know.
Laura Prepon, I don't know.
Yeah.
Still,
If she's old, is she going to be Grey Poupon? Still got it, kid.
oh, and she was hot back
I
then.
don't, I
Donna.
don't think I've ever
Man.
watched that show in my life.
Did you
It's
watch?
a great show. Really, it is. I
Did you
mean,
watch Orange Is the New Black?
No.
Oh,
Clymer
also,
did.
also
She's
a
in
good
that
show.
too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first couple seasons.
And that's got Natasha Lyonne, right?
Yes.
I do like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't play a really great character in that show though, but
Yeah,
she
I like her, though.
I like her in
She's pretty messed up.
yeah. I think that was yeah.
But I
that's-
like most of those actors that are on the show. I mean, I can't even think of, but and they're showing up and stuff, and I'm happy to see that.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was a good stepping stone. And these aren't.
That's Orange is the New Black.
yeah.
One of the Latinas from Orange is the New Black is on the new Lopez versus Lopez.
Oh, I don't know that show.
It's George Lopez and his daughter, his actual daughter, and they play father and daughter in the show as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So it's a
don't-
funny
To me,
sitcom.
that guy's the Latin Sinbad. He's never made me laugh. He just has a career that will never stop. Yeah.
He's hit and miss with me as well. I mean, sometimes he's funny.
because he's creating generational wealth for his children. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
He can be funny, but he's not always funny as far as I'm
And
concerned.
the one Sinbad joke where like grandma always has money in her purse somehow. So no matter what, grandma always has like money
cash,
in her
yeah,
purse.
yeah.
It's great.
Nice.
And it's one joke out of 40 fucking years. Dude.
Did you guys hear how Sinbad like trolled the internet? Like 5-6 years ago on April Fool's Day, released a video about like the movie that never existed, but people swear it did because of the Mandela effect, saying that he was in a movie where he played a genie and stuff. It's like,
I feel like he was in a movie where he played a genie.
no, it never happened. But he did this video just kind of.
Was it
Is there
Shaq?
a weird Shaq movie in it?
Yeah,
Or
there,
is it
there,
Shaq?
people are
Okay.
thinking of the Shaq movie.
Yeah, but Sinbad's been in a weird kids movie though. I just can't think of it.
The
right
only
now.
one I can think of is
I mean,
where
that
he's
guy
like the
has worked
Secret Service man
nonstop.
and he's like in charge of the president's son, like the kid or whatever.
He was in
like he's always working.
the Schwarzenegger movie,
Oh yeah,
Christmas. whatever.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
The first
yeah.
one, yeah. The second one, I think he was in the second one too, but the second one
Was
had
it two Jingle All the Way?
yeah, the second one has a layer
Really?
instead of
It was so good they made a sequel. Is that on your list for our bonus?
it
round?
should be on my list of. I hadn't thought about that until just now. The sequel had Larry the Cable Guy instead of Schwarzenegger,
Oh God! Ugh.
but it was along the same lines. It was basically the same story. An inattentive father tries to buy a toy last minute and is unable to find it, and it has to fight some other
What
parent to
happened
get
with
it.
Cabbage Patch Kids? and shit back in
Yeah.
the
Well, that's kind of what
Yeah.
inspired that movie was
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch Kid.
But I can see it.
But
But,
that
now
don't-
it's turned into like Walmart Black Friday deals where people
Yeah.
just go down there to it's like Waffle House.
Just go down to fight.
Just go to fight.
Dude,
Gonna go
So that-
fight.
have you ever done like the Black Friday thing where people
No.
get up at 3 a.m. and stand in line for 5 hours?
No,
Nope,
I did.
never.
The only Black Friday thing I've done is when we finally wanted to buy a new TV for downstairs. I bought it online at Best Buy, and then my father-in-law and I went down day after Thanksgiving to pick it up, and it was a pain to just sort of maneuver in there. But they had a mountain of shit up by the front doors of all the stuff people ordered online. So we just had to find somebody. Then they had to like put it on a cart for us, and then we carried it out to the car.
I did it once, and that was like 2007, 2008, and I went with my mom to Target because she wanted to get. That year Dyson had a special edition vacuum that was it had the Susan G. Komen pink ribbon on it for breast cancer and stuff.
I don't know if I'm
On the
impressed or
vacuum?
if that's sexist.
Why is it sexist?
Well, because does that imply that women would be vacuuming more than men or something? Or is that a...
I don't know. I think it was just I guess profits from the sale of those things went to Susan G. Komen.
Okay.
So, but I know I get it now. I'm
That's one of those charities that kept most of the money
I think, yeah,
with
they
the
turned out to be
admins
kinda-
and gave a very little bit to the.
But my mom wanted to get one of those, and we went down there, and they only had 5. And the time we walked in and got in line, went inside to find them, they were all already in line, getting ready to
really?
be
For a
purchased.
vacuum cleaner?
Yeah,
It must have been a huge
Got a
sale.
bug motherfucker.
Right?
They were-
It must have been.
they were.
Yeah.
I think those things were going for like $100. No. Brand new, I think those things were like almost $1,000.
I think
but
so. They're
they
a
were
lot of
selling
money. Yeah.
on Black Friday for like $300.
Oh my goodness! My goodness!
Yeah, geez, maybe that should be our top 5 favorite vacuum cleaners.
But yeah, it was one of those Dyson.
Kirby,
Kirby's are fucking badass.
badass.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you because
Wish I never gave the ex-wife the Kirby. Fucking bitch.
Oh no, they're heirloom pieces. People pass those down.
Yes,
Like
yes.
they're-
I'm sure it's still fucking running. Maybe we should do like a podcasting thing on Black Friday where we go to
Oh,
just
geez, take a
fucking
chance.
interview people.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm down for doing that.
That
if you
would be
guys are-
great.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
all get in our town helmets,
Yeah. Riot gear.
riot gear. Go down. It's like, what are you here buying today? Do you mind being
Yeah.
on the? Yeah.
We're part of a local podcast, and we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Is that cool? Is that cool?
Oh yeah, you want to be on the radio.
Well, my last 3 are kind of short. Wells Fargo bogus account scandal,
Yes.
and they're still cooking.
No, they got fined very little.
Very little.
Didn't U.S. Bank do something similar?
I'm sure they did.
I think it was just a tactic because they know that they're, the fox is in charge of the hen house,
I
right?
think-
So they don't have the rules are written so that the fines are jack dick.
right.
I think what happened is, and from what I remember anyway, I could be remembering incorrectly, but the employees were signing people up for accounts so they
and
can get
credit cards,
and so they can get bonuses.
accounts. Yeah, so they
Yeah.
could get bonuses.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
And-
my God, it's so jerky.
Yeah. And then taxpayer bailout of the airlines. We gave them billions during COVID because they were all going to fail because travel was limited. And what happens? They turn around, they give us more baggage fees, shitty flights. They reduce the seat sizes.
And
They did just all kinds of shit. And they just piss all over us after we gave them like $50 billion.
Yeah.
Just sucks. And then
And
finally,
it's an industry that always, and I know a lot.
always
we have-
in need.
Yeah. But why is it up to us?
I know. I don't
Because
understand.
and I know there's some flights that carry organs for donation and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I'll still pay for that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
paying for somebody to like subsidizing a profitable industry
Is
why are we
bullshit.
subsidizing?
Yeah. I think there's this thing, and I just limited term. I don't really know much about it. I think it's called free market, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, that's a unicorn. It's
Yeah, I know.
It's never ever existed.
And then finally, and one day we'll have to have a whole episode on this, but the Panama Papers,
Yes.
because I don't know much about it, but it proved that the rich and elite are hiding billions and billions of dollars offshore.
Yeah.
But everybody's kind of like, oh my God, well, Dancing with the Stars is on. So.
Yeah. Too bad. If only there was something we could do about that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember.
What was that,
maybe it
like
was Joe
3
Biden,
or 4
but,
years ago?
Panama, it's been more than that.
Yeah.
But wasn't there some kind of impetus to bring money back? Was that an early Biden thing, or was that a Donald Trump thing?
And that wouldn't have been a Donald
Yeah.
Trump thing, I don't think. But
I don't know. But just changing up the tax code.
Yeah, I
right?
think
Which is
Biden maybe-
something that's on everybody's
maybe
list, but it's just not.
proposed
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
fuckers.
And that's the thing. We restructure things. We don't have to throw the baby with the bathwater. And that's what I think we should have done with the student loan forgiveness thing is restructure the loans.
Yeah.
Right? So that it's not interest heavy. right? So that it's principal fucking heavy on the payments, then nobody's pissed.
Right.
Right? If you have to pay 10 to 1, even a mortgage or whatever else, it's the structure of the loans that's so predatory and gross, and right?
Yeah.
Just switch that up.
Yeah.
Right? That's not giving them money. That's just making it a square deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're about at our normal time. Do we want to throw down some quick This Week in History, or do we want to call it good there? What do you guys think? We'll go a couple more minutes?
We can go. I mean, I don't care if we go over. Do you?
No, it's
Yeah, I
fine
mean,
with
are
me.
they going
Let's
to
go
riot
ahead.
if we do? I mean,
We're going to get the letter.
Man, they
It's
talked for an extra 10, 20 minutes. Oh, my God.
All right. Well, This Week in History, 1297, William Wallace, Braveheart himself, defeats the British at Stirling Bridge. This was his huge victory against the British, against England. Nobody thought that, the Scottish army could do it. And this is, if you watch the movie Braveheart, this is when they made the really long-ass spears, and the heavy cavalry was charging in, and they took out the heavy cavalry. That's kind of the fictionalized version of Stirling Bridge, but that was his big victory. 1960, our favorite, OPEC is formed with the countries of Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
I think they've included a few more
'cause OPEC
Middle
Plus
Easterns
now, yeah.
and like Venezuela.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Oil
Oil
producing something.
bad guys.
They're the
But, I
ones
mean,
that kind
I
of get
know.
together and can set
Yeah, just
oil
how
prices.
much? 1960, so that's a minute, right?
That's a minute ago, yeah.
63 years, but how much
Well, that
of
would
the
have been
world's wealth has gone to these people?
Yes, I know.
Has been concentrated in these hands, right? And just
crazy
burned.
amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it also empowered economies.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. It's bonkers to me. It's bonkers.
On the flip side of that, in 71, Greenpeace is founded.
Oh.
Protecting the oceans. 1981, 10 years later, Sandra Day O'Connor is sworn in as the very first female Supreme Court justice.
Wow.
I vaguely remember that.
81, Reagan
81.
appointee.
Yeah.
I remember my mom talking about it at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
She's Irish to boot.
Oh, that's probably why, too, actually, because, we're all proud of our Irish people, Get in there and do the thing.
Yeah.
Do
And
the
first
thing.
1981. That's a grip, as the kids said.
Yeah.
From the founder.
Do they still say a grip?
I don't know. Probably not.
They probably did like 20 years ago.
Yeah, but that's neat.
2001, we all know what happened there. 9/11, Twin Towers, Pennsylvania, and the Pentagon.
Or as Trump called it, 7-Eleven.
Oh, did he call it that?
Yeah,
Jeez. This is a fun one.
No.
I haven't
He
heard
did.
anything about this for quite a while, but 2008, the Hadron Collider was powered up, and that's in
the Hadron Collider? Yeah.
is it Switzerland? I was going to say the Netherlands. but
It's Switzerland, I think.
Is it
the Large Hadron Collider, yeah.
yeah. And we haven't, because everybody was worried that it was going to create a black hole,
or
right?
something.
Suck
Yeah.
every.
Yeah.
Hasn't done that
Or
yet,
at
as
least
far as
make
we
super
know.
villains.
Right.
I was kind of banking on super
The Hadron
villains.
Collider is actually what people are saying caused the
Mandela effect?
The Mandela effect, yes.
Okay.
Love it. Love it.
That must be what it is.
Yeah.
That and oh shoot! I just
Split
had a
it, split it,
Todd
split it.
moment.
A Todd moment.
Damn it!
An
But
ADHD moment.
speaking of Mandela effect, I got to go to a film shorts fest for the summit, the Renton Film Summit.
Oh.
Anyway, and one of them was by the Thai guys, so I totally recommend this, and it's called The Mandela Effect, and it is hysterical.
Okay.
So look for it online.
What is this
Go to
again?
The Summit. The Summit is the Renton Film Forum. Yeah.
They used to do the Frenzy and all that.
No, it's not the same as the Frenzy. This is something that, Ben's got.
Frenzy was SIF, right, or something?
No, it was
part of
still a
that?
separate thing, but
Was it?
kind of was
Okay.
about the same time. And
Okay,
then we
don't
also
listen to
had
me, I don't know
SIF
what I'm
Renton.
talking
But but it was cool because Renton does have a strong film push.
Okay.
It really does.
All right.
And so this is something Ben Andrews has done for a number of years down at the Hyatt, et
Was
cetera.
Ben Sam's partner in filming?
No, that's Bob.
Bob.
Yeah,
okay,
Chris.
that's right.
His real name Chris, but
Yeah,
for the finger
everybody
guys.
calls him-
But Ben had some films during Film Frenzy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember Bailey took second or third place in the junior division
Sure.
of the first or second year of that. We still have the trophy at home.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
No, that was a hoot. No, I'd really like to bring that back.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought maybe it would be The Mist. Remember the movie The Mist?
Yeah.
It would open up a portal
Yeah.
and all the creatures would come through.
Bummer. No, it's awful.
Ending on
Oh, yeah, and then it ends
something-
really bad. That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
What happened?
The Mist
The Mist.
with Tommy Jane. That's
Yeah, Tom Jane.
Yep.
Yeah, and a bunch of the people from Darabont universe ended up on Walking Dead because he was part of the Walking Dead. He was a showrunner or something for the first few seasons. So,
Mist?
the guy that played
You've never seen The Mist? It's cool. It's on Amazon, I
It's
think.
good. Yeah,
What is
it?
It's a good. It's a.
Is it
it's a
TV?
creature
Stephen King.
feature. It's a creature feature.
It's a
Stephen
movie
King.
or a TV show?
It's
it's a-
both now.
Oh, there you go.
They did have a TV show. The
I didn't
movie,
know.
I haven't seen the TV show, but the movie,
That's a movie. Tom.
there's a experimental thing close to a town in New England where all of Stephen King's
Maine,
stories are taking
yeah.
place, and it releases this mist, and everybody's feared the mist, and they're all kind of trapped in a supermarket, and then some of them venture out, but they get attacked by different creatures.
Sounds like the Blob.
A little bit more scary. I mean, these are
Yeah,
friggin'
yeah.
wicked creatures. So
Yeah. It's kind of Lovecraftian.
it is very
Oh, okay.
Lovecraftian. Yeah, and it's pretty good.
And who was in it?
Thomas Jane's
Yeah.
the main guy.
okay.
And then
Punisher, yeah.
Oh,
a
yeah.
bunch of the Frank Darabont character actors.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all Walking
Yeah.
Dead. Lady that played Carol.
Oh, nice.
Andrea, the guy that played the old guy with the hat, Dale.
Yeah.
All those character
All
actors.
the people who died
And
off in the
also,
first 5 seasons?
Yeah, yeah. Also, William Sadler, who was also
Oh, yeah.
in
Bill and-
Judgment Night.
Bill and Ted?
Shawshank.
Oh, yeah. No, that guy's been.
Oh, he
around.
was
That's-
in Bill and Ted. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes.
The last 2 movies, yeah.
Yeah.
He was the Reaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played the bass.
Very-
Upright bass even.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Have you guys seen the 3rd movie?
No.
No.
Oh, my God, you
I
should-
feel like I should.
You totally should, because part of the story is about him and his character.
But isn't it
It's
Keanu
real-
without a beard now, and it just trips me out?
He looks older without a beard.
Yeah.
It's weird because you think someone would look younger without a beard, but he looked older without a beard.
Nice. All right. Anybody
All right,
got
geez.
anything
Well,
positive end on? I've got a nice quote about autumn
I mean, I have
by an unknown author. Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go.
Ah,
Thought that was a nice quote.
that is good. All right.
yeah.
Anybody?
Oh, geez, no.
I was gonna pull up an M out of the asshole, but this one's really long, so
Oh no, I don't know. We have time for
Yeah,
all
it's
that.
nice, isn't it?
Jeez. Next week. Hopefully
we
we'll
have
get
time.
one of
We just
you.
choose not to.
One of these jokers to seek some advice from us. Write in, tell us
Oh,
what
yeah.
your issues are. We'll be happy to try to solve it for you with our 150 plus years of
Yes.
life experience.
Doctor, it
we
hurts
don't
when I
pretend
do
to be
this.
doctors,
Don't
Yeah,
do
well.
that, Mike.
psychologists, psychiatrists.
Yeah.
We don't chiropractors. We're not therapists.
Soothsayer.
Soothsayers. We don't read tarot cards. We don't.
Do we roll the bones?
We should roll the bones. That should be our subject chooser. Roll the bones and figure it out. All right. Well, if you guys got nothing else,
No, appreciate
thanks for
you being
watching.
here.
Appreciate you being here around the world. Sun never sets on Our Town Podcast. Love you.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, blogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.